testimonials on every single page. It is really important that you incorporate testimonials onto every single page. Have the testimonial relevant to the product that is being advertised on that page, but the testimonials themselves can really, really help to remove the fear of commitment. They can help provide social proof, and they are invaluable. Preferably, again, video testimonials are best, audio being next, text being next. You can always take a video or an audio testimonial and transcribe them into text, but you can't take a text testimonial and turn it into video or audio without hiring paid actors. Personally, I just don't like that. So, I mean, it's your call. There are others who have done that, I'm sure, but I just don't like to do that. You can also take your video and audio testimonials and use them in your stick strategy and your stick calls once you get to that point. But you can't, again, take the text. So always try and go for the text and then revert back to audio and then revert back to text from there. Do not ever make up a testimonial. Ever. Ever. Don't have friends make testimonials for you. Ever. Use third-party testimonials whenever you can. Third-party testimonial, I said I was going to talk a little more about this. I just can't wait anymore. I want you to understand what that is because I mentioned it a couple times already. A third-party testimonial is a testimonial where someone else talks about my success. It's one thing if I tell you that I have been successful using product ABC. This widget has been the most amazing widget I've ever used. I love this widget. It's the greatest. That holds certain weight. However, if my wife were to come on this camera and she were to tell you, oh my God, since my husband started using those widgets, he is so much nicer to be around. I love hanging out with him. Everything is better. Our life is better. The world now spins the proper direction, all because he started using the widget. That testimonial becomes so much more powerful than me tooting my own horn about the product because it's someone else talking about me and my experiences with the product from an outsider perspective. So think about that for just a second. What does that do for the customer and for us? Well, the customer's looking at that third-party testimonial going, wow, that person's talking about someone else's experience with the product and how they perceive the changes in that person's life, which is really what we're looking for the most anyway whenever we try a product. In most cases, I'm being a general here again, but in most cases we're looking for that validation from others or the attention from others when it comes to weight loss, or if you're talking about income, then you're looking for, freedom. A lot of guys and a lot of girls both, when they're working towards an info product or a marketing product, they want to have that freedom of lifestyle. It's not so much that we want other people to talk good about us, but it sure doesn't hurt. If the info product were to, let's say your product sells make money information. In this case, it would be easy to have a third-party testimonial say something along the lines of, my husband was always stressed and he was always concerned about money. And it wasn't until after he started using Mike's system that he started seeing some really great successes. And when he did, let me tell you, life around the house got a heck of a lot easier. And everyone's happier now because he's happier and because we're all having to work a little bit less hard. So anyhow, that's the concept behind the third-party testimonial. We have some on our websites already that work fantastically well. The more you can collect third-party testimonials, the better. One of my clients, Joe does a fantastic job of collecting the third-party testimonials. And when you see them in action, they're just amazing. And all you got to do is ask for them. That's the best part. Can you have your husband talk a little bit about how your life has changed since using the reflux remedy? Sure. People will do it. What do they do it for? What do you have to give them to do it? You can give them the camera that you sent them to record it. Something that simple. Got that from Dean Graziosi. He's a great guy. Amazing, amazing marketer. Tremendous success in the internet, or it's not in the internet, excuse me, in the real estate marketing world. And some really great stuff has come from Dean. So all respect to Dean for creating that system, and we use it like mad, the flip camera, but we specifically really shoot for those third-party testimonials. Third-party credibility. Now this is a little bit different. If possible, get a PR firm to get you some news coverage. You really want to be able to get some news coverage for your product or service. Third-party credibility comes from other sources, not customers and not customers' friends. This is really outside agencies, websites, media. Many use the news coverage about their product industry and not about their product themselves. That's up to you. Some people will say, hey, you know what? Such and such, 7 of our ingredients were featured in abc.com, or such of our ingredients were featured on Men's Health, or such and such ingredients were featured on blah, blah, blah. I've seen that used an awful lot. You'll have to talk with your own attorney and how you feel about it on your own. That's completely up to you. Luckily for us, a lot of our clients actually have their products reviewed. They just send them to review sites and have them reviewed. It's not that difficult. Really simple to do. If you have a PR firm, it gets even easier. If you don't have a PR firm, then hey, you can send your product out yourself to someone and hopefully get a good review from it. If the media is talking about your industry, you should be able to find something to use, and I'll show you some examples of that in just a little bit. Get others to review the product for you. People love playing reviewer and editor, so play to that. Now, if someone sent you something and said, hey, would you mind reviewing my product, and you got the product sent to you for free, what would you do? You would probably review the product. And if you say, I wouldn't review it, then you're probably not being totally truthful with yourself. You'd probably give it a look. I mean, you would give it your fair and honest opinion, but most likely you would go out of your way to try it, especially if someone sent it for free. Time allowing, of course. If they sent you War and Peace, you obviously wouldn't go through a War and Peace book about something that doesn't interest you. So keep that in mind when you send it to someone. Send your product for review to someone who will actually use it and who has an active interest in it. Also, third-party credibility isn't essential, but it sure helps. Really, really, really helps. The reason I'm saying that is don't let that stop you from launching your campaign. Let it be the icing on the cake for your campaign. Okay? Decoy offers. Decoy offers are going to need to be in your website, but we got to cover this really in depth. It's so important. I don't even want to talk about it really on this page. Let's just go into it in its own section. Upsell systems. You're going to need upsell systems in place. Also so important, it needs its own section. So let's cover that in detail in its own section. You have to remove the top menu in the FAQs. I can't tell you how many landing pages I've seen that still have a top menu and an FAQ section. Your landing page, you don't want your customer to get distracted. And if you have a top menu section that leads to an entire volume of information, including your home site, your website, remember we talked about your home site and your website before, it's going to have all of your it's going to be very detail-oriented, and it's going to be an homage to your product. You don't want people to get lost in that. You want them to be focused when they land on your landing page to do one thing, and that's to purchase your product and to go through your flow that you have previously created for them, choosing the choices that you've given them. And those choices should not involve getting lost for an hour and a half researching the product. It's not what they're into. You can create a research mentality. That's not what you're interested in. Don't create a research mentality if you don't need it. Okay? Top menu will distract the user flow. The FAQ will start questions that, again, like I said, were not in their mind. They might not have been thinking about those things, and you could create them in their mind. Find out by polling the customers through those through exit surveys or things like that what the top questions are in their mind. Then answer those first. Don't create more questions by posing answers that don't even need to be answered by most people. If you put your survey up on Exit and you find that, you've got out of 100 submissions, 90 of them have to do with I didn't want to put my credit card in online, and 4 of them have to do with we didn't understand the free trial offer, and 1 has to do with what about shipping to Kentucky? Don't put Kentucky shipping as the primary focus of the your objections and rebuttals on your landing page. You get what I'm saying? Focus only on what's the dominating thought for most of the customers. So answer FAQ is really rebuttals. Like I said before, plus rebuttals on the page. Leave them on the website, like I said before, but not on the landing page, please. Show pictures and videos of the stated benefit. Goal imagery is essential. We talked about that a couple times. You need to have the goal imagery on your website. Use video to show the transition from current to future self. This is really huge. If you can get a video editor to create a morphing image, if you're selling weight loss especially, of current to future vision, really, really helpful. If you're selling business opportunity stuff, then you need to paint a future picture. It'll be difficult to show the morph, but you could morph your house, you can morph the car. I mean, people love that whole change that takes place, going from pop peasant to rich guy, or however you want to position it. Just make sure that you're showing the customer that their life can change and what it will look like as it changes. Use testimonials to help paint the picture of future benefit. Testimonials can be very, very, very helpful. Use images of the product working to help aid in the imagination creation. What that really means is if you can show how the product would actually work, like if you're selling a nutraceutical, you can show an image. Let's say it suppresses the appetite. You can show a visual image of, and it attacks the appetite at the brain signal level. You can show an illustration of brain signals, slowly getting smaller and weaker and weaker and weaker. Our product will shut off those hungry signals that comes to your brain or whatever. So as an example, if that's what the product does. In the case of this hair product, it was we took a hair follicle, an illustration of a follicle, not an actual follicle, of course, and we just showed it getting smaller and thinner and lighter. And that was our illustration. So you can really do some amazing things to show it working, and the same thing can be done with information products for income. How can you show income coming in? It's simple. Show a picture of, if you're selling a Google income system, show a picture of Google. Show a picture of a check leaving Google coming to your house. I mean, it really can be that simple. Check into envelope, envelope to the mailbox, you opening, you going to the bank. I mean, that simple illustration will increase conversion. I mean, it sounds silly, but that helps. So think about it. Include this on every single page if possible. Clearly display your offer. Make your initial offer clear to the consumer. Don't convolute it. Make it nice and clear. Don't remove the initial offer ever. That's called bait and switch. You don't want to do that. Make sure that if you're offering a free trial to the customer, they can always take the free trial. Just make the free trial less attractive than the other options that are available on the page to them. Be sure that your customer can quickly understand the offer, or they will become confused and leave. Or worse, they won't trust you. They'll think you broke their trust. You do not want to break the customer's trust, and you do not want them to ever feel like you have broken the trust, even if you feel that you haven't. So always ask them through, like we talked about before, the exit surveys whenever you're unclear, especially in the beginning. When making an upsell proposition, consider the same. Clarity and ease to make the decision win every single time. When is the last time you asked the coffee clerk, hey, what if I order the medium? What happens to my small coffee? Well, you don't have to ask that because you already know the answer. Of course, you're not going to get the small. However, online, things aren't quite that clear. You have to tell them, hey, replace the current order that you've placed with this new order for only XYZ dollars. Or, in your upsell path, if you're putting a new offer, add this to your existing order for only $22. No additional shipping charge. Do you see what I'm getting at? Make sure that you're clear in your offer presentation. Clearly display your unique selling proposition. Your unique selling proposition, if you're not already familiar with this term, is why they should buy from you over anyone else. You don't need to have a unique selling proposition in many cases. A lot of people think, I need to tell the customer why they should be buying from me over everyone else. How come I'm better? Well, I have a better product. I have this and that. You know what? A lot of times, especially in general interest pools of traffic, meaning the mass internet audience, unless you're in a real specific niche, you don't have to tell them why they should buy from you from anyone else. You don't have to talk about your competition at all in a lot of cases. You just have to make a better argument to why you can solve their problem. And you don't have to say why you can solve it over anyone else. You could just say, I can solve it. Here's how we're going to solve it together. Here's everyone else who has tried the product, who has had their problem solved for them using our solution. At no point in time do I ever need to talk about anyone else. And in some cases, if you're first mover advantage, don't even talk about the competition. They won't think about it unless you talk about it. So you may not need the USP. I know that I can be shot for saying that to some people, but I don't care. A lot of times I don't even use the USP. Do not use "we're the best" unless you can back it up. If you're going to say best da-da-da of da-da-da-da-da, if you're saying I am the best information product of 2009, you better be able to back that up with stats, because now you're making a claim. Don't make claims. You don't have to make claims to sell products. You just put it out there, and believe it or not, people will buy it, especially if you've created the sense of urgency strong enough. And then use the testimonials to create the social proof to prevent buyer's remorse after they've purchased. Back up your USP with third-party credibility. If you do have a good USP out there, use the third-party credibility tokens that you've gotten from other people. Let other people make statements about your product. Wow, this is the most amazing product we've ever seen, from Cindy'sReviewSite.com. Great. As long as Cindy's Review Site has an awesome logo, customers aren't going to care. Got a great logo, looks like a credible resource. Awesome. Your USP can also be your company tagline, helping customers, or helping you to achieve greater results, one at a time, something like that. You just, whatever. It doesn't have to be complicated. Don't spend forever thinking about it. Test it. Test 4 or 5 different company taglines. Whatever. Remember one thing. Whatever you marry in your mind, you need to divorce, and let the results find your new partner. Because a lot of times I've had clients come out and are like, oh my gosh, yes, our in fact, there was a company, let me tell you a little story. Sorry. There's a company that I started working with. They were like, hey, we were jamming, we were doing 600, 700 orders a month. Now we're down to like 60, and we're dying, and they're choking. And now we're down to like nothing. We're going out of business. And I said, well, what are you doing? I'm like, well, we've got this product. It's a blah, blah, blah. I said, well, how long has it been out? Well, the product's been out for about a year now. And I said, okay, stop right there. How are you getting all your traffic? We're getting it from our affiliates. So you've had a product out for 1 full year using affiliate marketing, and you can't figure out why you're not getting any more sales. Yeah, but the customers love our product. I'm like, fine. The customers may love your product, but because you're using affiliate marketing, the affiliates also have to love your product. And what are they seeing? Oh, that's that old 1-year-old product. What are we going to do about that? Instantly, we're going to contact the manufacturer. We're going to create new bottles, and we're going to sell the product under a new name, the exact same product. Now, what ended up happening was, the minute that we released the same product under a new name, the affiliates all went crazy for it. And we got a whole bunch of new customers. Not even the same customers at all, a whole bunch of new customers, because the other customers already bought that type of product in the past. They weren't into that product anymore. But it was the affiliates that mattered. We changed all the landing pages around, made it really simple, took all the copy junk out that they had, made a real simplistic page that leveraged the third-party credibility. Bam. Instant sales. They went from, I think they were between 60 to 300 orders a month. It wasn't, I mean, whatever it was very, very little. Then we got them to 20, I think at the peak they were like 27,000 a month. This was a few years ago, but I mean, it was not difficult. If you follow the systems, I know one of my buddies just, I think it's about a month ago, he went up to 1,000 and 2,000 orders a month just copying this exact same system. So, really easily done. And he got that way just because he could spend that kind of money that fast. I'm not suggesting you do it. I suggest you take things nice and easy and slow. You don't want to get to that volume that fast. It's very detrimental to business, believe it or not. Luckily, he has a bunch of money in the bank, so he can afford to do that. Okay, so can also be your offer. enough on the USP. Let's move on. Product shots. Use product shot images collected during the asset collection. It's kind of a given. That's why you got all the product shots to begin with. Make the images larger than life. Always consider when you're doing your product shots that you make the images a lot larger than life. They should be glowing in the background. Never do you want to have a boring product shot. Boring doesn't sell. Remember we talked about this earlier. I don't need to get into it again too much, but I just want you to remember, make them larger than life. If you place the product beside bullets so the customer can see while they're ordering, then you can have the bullets reinforced by the beautiful picture of the product. Use contrast and decoy principle for images if you're using the decoy system. If you're using decoy system, make sure that you have a nice contrast. Remember the size of the product. You can also try degrading all of the images but the goal, so that the goal image is a lot sharper and clearer image. I never tested that, and it says right here I've never tested, but I thought of it while I was doing this slide. I think of all kinds of crazy things while I'm doing these slides, so I'm going to share them with you guys. And I want you to know, what I have tested and what I haven't tested. And I'm not going to not mention something because I haven't tested it, because a lot of the stuff that I've mentioned to my clients hasn't been tested. But then they try it, and lo and behold, it's revolutionary for their business. And I want you to have that same luxury, or that same ability, if you will. Okay, let's keep going. Phone number for credibility. It will definitely increase the conversion ratio. Sometimes the CPA networks don't like it, or the affiliates may not like it. In fact, that's what it says. The affiliates will hate it. However, if your ECPM, or your effective earnings per 1,000 impressions, is high enough, it won't matter. They're not going to care. If I send out 1,000 emails and I make more money from your offer than any other offer that I've been testing, I'll deal with the phone number. It's got to make a lot more, but I'll deal with the phone number. The only thing that matters is the ECPM. How much did I earn for every 1,000 emails that I sent? How much did I earn for every 1,000 banners that got displayed? How much did I earn for every 1,000 text ads that got displayed? Or every 1,000 clicks? Whatever that payment method is, did I make more? Use a local and a toll-free number if possible. If you can, when your business grows to that point that you can afford to do local RCF, you can resolve using geographic filters, and you can resolve to what state they're in. You can use a local area code from that state, especially if you're getting enough order volume from there. And it'll increase the conversion ratio also. If you were to land on a website and then they had a local area code phone number, how good would you feel about that site versus one that was just a toll-free number? Exactly. Yeah, it says that below. Use RCF when you get to scale. Customers a lot of times will knock first before ordering. They will actually call up the call center just to make sure it's a real business before they place that order. So that's why I really like the phone number being on the website. They're really scared, and the phone number will help to remove that fear for them. Remember that a lot of people on the internet are still very, very scared about placing orders on the internet. So that phone number is essential for that. However, I'm going to qualify this with, sometimes you're going to have to take it off for the CPA networks, and you're going to have to change your linking strategy for the CPA networks so that you don't have a link for affiliates. Some of them will even ask you to take off the Contact Us links. Never do that. No way. You never, ever want to take off the Contact Us links. You always make sure the customers can reach you no matter what. I don't care what the CPA network says about that one. Always make sure your customers can reach you and find you again. Okay? Trust logos rule. Allow the customer to know someone else has reviewed you and you can be trusted. So you can use Trusty, Honesty, Better Business Bureau logos. You can use any of those or all of them. The more the merrier. The big thing is you got to stay on top of the complaints, and you have to check your mail. And you have to have a good system for keeping on top of these people. Meaning, if you get a Better Business Bureau complaint, what do? You don't just send one letter back and say, oh, we took care of that, customers. They're crazy. Wrong. Customers are always right. Always. Even when they're wrong, they're right. No matter what, refund them the money. If you have already refunded the money, send documented proof to the customer, the Better Business Bureau, and any other regulatory agency you can, saying we're on top of this. We monitor our customers. We care about our customers. We want to make sure that they're happy. Make sure that the customer knows and is getting phone calls from you so that they know that they have to email or contact back the Better Business Bureau again to have it removed. Because if the Better Business Bureau will follow the loop sequence. And if you don't think, oh, I just won't get a Better Business Bureau thing, wrong. Guess again, they're going to create a file on you no matter what. So you got to make sure you're on top of it. Always stay on top of it. No matter no matter what your personal feelings are about regulatory agencies, you need to be sure that you're listening and playing fair with all of them. Okay? I cannot stress that enough. VeriSign, GoDaddy Seals, all of these things are really important. Your Consumer Advocates is coming. This is my notice to you guys. This is something that I've been working on personally because I feel that there needs to be more accountability. And we're going to be creating our own seal to say, hey, look, we've reviewed this, and it's good. And the people can be trusted. So, enough about that. Money-back guarantee. Always offer a money-back guarantee. And always give them their money back if they ask for it. Now, that doesn't mean that you put your tail between your legs and roll over anytime the customer complains. They want the product. You can stand beside it. And if you believe in it, I've had dealings with one company that really amazed me. They were doing an easy pay solution, and they actually chased the customers for money and threatened to send them to collections. Oh my God, what are you guys kidding me? And they totally did it. They actually, they never sent anybody to collections, but they threatened to, because they understand one thing. The customer made a decision. They bought the product. And they didn't feel remorseful about it. They know they've got a good product, the company this is. And the customer needs to follow through on what they said. If they said they would pay for it, then darn it, the customer needs to pay for it. So you can give the customer back their money when they ask for their money back. But until then, make sure that you follow what you're saying. If you want the customer, if you've got a 30-day money-back guarantee, offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you've got a 90, offer a 90. If they call at any point in time in there, offer them their money back. If they call in after and they still want their money back, I say still give it to them. But just make sure that you get the product back from them, or follow the the rural refund scripts and stuff that we talk about in the retention segment of this. You'll want to go back through there and watch that later on because it's good, really good. Okay, use certificate look to surround the guarantee explanation. This is very, very helpful in giving credibility to your guarantee rather than just having your guarantee being in plain text. You've probably seen this a lot, so use it. Use a gold seal for an authentic look and prominently feature your guarantee. Make sure the customer doesn't have to go looking for your guarantee. It's very important that they don't look for it. Show testimonials of the guarantee to show that there's no stress or worries. What that means is ask someone. When someone calls in, just say, hey, you know what? I went ahead and processed your order. When you get those happy people, get your customer service representatives used to saying, hey, thank you so much. Would you mind, if you feel that we've handled you correctly and properly, would you mind sending us a quick email with a couple words we can use on our website to show others that there's no worries. We're here for you. We'll do our best for you. You'd be surprised. People will say, yeah, sure, no problem. Heck, man, you give me back my money, I'll say you were great. I'll say you're walk on water. They'll do anything. And you can use those testimonials to put on your landing page to show customers, wow, you know what? I tried the product. It didn't work for me. I contacted their customer service department, and they promptly refunded my money. What a pleasant experience. I wish the product had worked for me. Real simple. Okay. Let's see here. Don't be afraid to tell your customers that you only want serious buyers. This is a big one, and this is how I treat my own business. I had a client call me up. I was driving back from San Jose, and they said, what's your guarantee to me that I will be successful when I give you $25,000 for a one-day consultation? My direct response was, you don't have a guarantee. In this case, I didn't even offer a guarantee. I just said, look, you don't have a guarantee. I don't know what kind of person you are. I don't know what kind of business you run. I don't know what your abilities are. I can only guarantee you one thing. When you come out, you'll be blown away. I guarantee you that. You will learn so much that you will be amazed at how much you can pick up in one day. And they walked away. And I told them that. Oh, actually, no. The next thing he said was, what did he say? Oh, he said, well, tell me how what differentiates you from your competition. I said, there is no competition. No one's going to teach you the stuff I'm going to show you. Anybody who knows this stuff is doing it, and they're not going to tell you because they don't want any competition for themselves. So go find someone else. Good luck. And I wasn't saying that to be egotistical. I was saying that to be realistic for this guy. Look, man, go anywhere. I don't care. I'm not going to guarantee my product, and I only want serious customers to come visit me. So don't be afraid to tell your customer the same thing. Look, I only want serious customers. If you're a serious customer, step up to the plate. Let's get busy. If you're not serious, then go away, because I got other stuff I can do with my time. And if you tell the customers that, they'll believe it, and they'll feel that you really mean what you're saying, and they'll become better customers because you want them to be better customers. So just recognize that too. Okay? Oh, by the way, he called back 2 weeks later. Showed up. $25,000 in hand. Oh, and was very, very, very happy that they did too. They're like, oh my God, we didn't even have the slightest idea that we could do this. We were down here. We could be there. They were very excited. CVV2 explanation or CW2, I don't know. I always get that messed up. Again, you don't have to be perfect at this. You just have to set up a system, and that's what we did. So credit card, look at this. It even says right there, credit CVV2 still escapes some. It escapes me what is even called, but it's the credit security code. A lot of customers still don't know what that is for online purchasing, because if they haven't bought online, they don't know to look for it. Remember that. How many times have they bought online? If this is the customer's second experience, they're still not used to it. If you're a heavy internet purchaser like me, you're used to it all day long. But everyone starts out somewhere. I wasn't a heavy internet purchaser until recently. Now, the last couple, year or so, I've been spending like mad. Thanks to Amazon Prime, I don't spend a ridiculous amount of money. But we won't go there. Don't assume they all buy. Yeah, here you go. Don't assume they buy online all the time. Use pictures to show exactly where it is on their card and how they can find it and what they're supposed to put in. Use DHTML to display the image with an explanation. Explain that this is for their safety and their security. Believe it or not, you can say a lot of stuff under the safety and security statement, and customers will be like, oh, that's for my safety. Got it. Sometimes that actually frustrates me, because I see websites when they say, for your security, we are blah, 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 blah. And I read that line, I'm like, that has nothing to do with my safety at all. You're stretching it. Anyhow, but that just goes to show that you can stretch it. Just don't stretch it too far, please. Credit cards accepted. Let them know what credit card you accept. Show the credit card logos on the page if you want to. They also do help add trust and credibility. I definitely would put them in there. And use a drop-down for credit card type. Don't use bubbles. It fills too much space. You don't have that much space. The more things is the more commitment. So remember, less commitments. Terms and conditions. Use English. Don't get all attorney on them. What that basically means is when you start talking attorney talk, that means that you've changed the dynamic between me and you in our relationship. What happens if you go visit your mom, right? And your mom hands you a plate of food. And she says, here is your wonderful dinner, honey. As per our previous agreement, you will be depositing $100 into my account. Blah, 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 blah. Never use the words as per or any of that kind of legal jargon when you're having a conversation with someone. They don't want to hear that. That's not how they talk with their friends. What did you do when you started talking like that? You went from friend to jerk. Don't be the jerk. If you need to say jerk things, disclaim it. Say, and here's how you disclaim it. Say, here's how the free trial works. We set it up so you can experience it, you can try it. After the trial, it's going to be $38, blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. And then if you want to get legal, and you have to get attorney, because you have to. A lot of times attorneys be like, you got to put this and this and this on the page. You have to put these statements and this legal talk, because that's lawyer talk. Put it at the bottom. Put a little thing, the disclaimer that says, here's the stuff our attorney made us put because we have to be legal. Bam. And then you put a bunch of stuff. And what you've done is you've set a divisor between you as your personality and the attorney as the attorney. Remember, this is another wedge. I'm part of you guys. I ain't part of that stuff. You get what I'm saying. Open it in a new window only, obviously. I shouldn't say obviously. You never want to, when someone clicks on a link on your page, on your sales path, or your landing page, do not let that open in the same window, because they may close it thinking that it's opened in a new one and leave your sales path. That's bad. Obviously, that's bad. Don't use small fonts. A lot of people think, man, if I put it in a 9-point font, no. Use big fonts. You don't need to use little tiny fonts. That's just a waste. If you have to get into, when you say here's a legal jargon, then you can use the smaller fonts because they're used to that. But with the normal plain English stuff, use normal fonts. Meaning 10, 12, 14, pushing it. Points, that is, PT, points. Keep things clear and make everything a benefit. Remember that. If you're going to be billing the customer, it has to stay a benefit. Don't let it ever feel like it's not a benefit. Because if you don't feel like it's a benefit, they certainly won't feel like it's a benefit. You got to believe what you're saying. If you don't feel that what you're doing is a benefit, change it. Change the structure of what it is that you're doing so you can feel like it's a benefit. If it's your own mental hang-up on rebilling customers, read some books that prove that the more money your customers spend, the better their success rates are, and that should change your latitude for you, because it's true. Exit Pop chat systems. You could use Exit Pop chat systems to give coupon codes for purchases, and they actually work really, really well. You always see them, and you're like, man, do those actually work? Yeah, they do. Put them in. Use to get the user to give feedback on why they aren't buying. Remember I talked about that before. Let them type in, how come you're not buying? Hey, what's the biggest reason why you're leaving today? Did we do something wrong? Did we say something wrong? Can you tell us so that we can have a better user experience for the next person? We really care what you think. You can also use this to interrupt the exit throughout the process. Use to interrupt exit thought process. Now, I was supposed to say throughout. See, this is the English teacher thing. Should have had somebody review my copy here, or my bullet points. So, use to interrupt the exit throughout the process. And what that means is put it on every single page. Put it on every page of the process, so no matter where I leave, I get those. A lot of times I'll see them on one page but not on another. Or someone will say, oh, well, I couldn't put it on the landing page because Google didn't allow it. Well, why wasn't it on the second page? People don't leave the second page? They do. They'll leave every page of your process. So get it on every page if you can. IntelliChat and other services are worth trying, and they do have experience. So leverage that experience. Ask them, hey, do you have anybody like me? Do you have anybody who's using our stuff? What have you seen as their greatest success? And how has that affected their customers, meaning the IntelliChat and those other services? How has this affected the customer's bottom line? Ask for specific stats and ask for specific numbers. They'll give them to you. Don't be afraid to ask good, deep questions. Things that you don't think they'll share, they'll share. Do you have scripts from any of your previous campaigns that you've run that we can use? Oh, great, thank you very much. Because they want nothing more than to see you successful. Why? Because they make money when you're successful. So don't hesitate to ask. Secure site imagery. Use standard locks, standard secure lock SSL imagery. Use a link to your security statement. So if you have a security statement, we use the most advanced encryption technology, blah, 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 yada, yada, super lock and key guys with machine guns, blah, 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 whatever your secure statement is. Remember, the stupidest thing can sound the coolest. Even if it's something as simple as we even have automatic gas generator backup systems that cut to it within 1/10 of 1 millisecond to ensure that your data is safe and secure, blah, blah, blah. So you can get nerdy in this. They like the nerdy. Things that they don't understand, they'll love. When it talks about secure stuff, that is. I saw one yesterday that said, we use state-of-the-art 64-bit encryption. I was like, what? Most customers would never know the difference. But you get my point. Combine with third-party validation. So if you've got like a Komodo seal or GoDaddy's seal or the VeriSign seal, again, you can use these, the third-party secure seals. You can use those. And then use text to explain the lock. 120-bit encryption, 500-bit encryption, whatever. Make it secure, site secure for your safety, guaranteed secure. And then there's like the Hacker Safe and all those other logos that you can use that have proven to do well for conversions and increase conversions. So, discrete shipping notice. Discrete shipping notice will remove the fear of social pressure. If you're selling a diet product, no one wants to get a product from hugegirls.com or from superdietrain.com or from IEatTooMuch.com or whatever your diet system or cool name is that you created for your company. Probably don't want to see that on the box. Probably don't want my postman, who I've just established a personal relationship with, to be delivering the product to me. Think about those things. How can you make sure that you're being discreet enough? Diet Systems of America or whatever your name is, you probably don't want that on the box. Let them know, hey, it comes confidential. It comes very confidential. It'll say on the box this. Let them know exactly how the product will arrive. It's going to arrive in a brown wrapper, wrapped like this. Here is a picture. Who's it addressed to? How will it appear on the credit card statement? You know what I mean? Crap. The name's forget the name. The little thing that the identifier. I think it's called the MID, the merchant identifier. Will it show on there from Diet Systems? Because if it's a diet product, most likely you'll come across problems with spouses if you put too much of a naming convention on there. So sometimes you want to be a little cryptic. You want to be clear for the customer and how it will appear when you explain to them, this is what you'll see in your credit card statement, print this sheet. But in some cases, it may benefit you to not put the exact name of your company on there if your product warrants it. And you'll know if your product warrants it or not. Who's the shipping carrier? Is it UPS? Is it FedEx? Is it DHL? Believe it or not, it makes a difference. If you tell me that it's being shipped via UPS, I feel better. If you tell me it's shipped during FedEx, I feel better. If you tell me it's shipped through DHL, I feel better. If you tell me it's shipped through USPS, I feel better. If you don't tell me any company name whatsoever, at least I don't know who it's coming from. Even though it could come from any of the shipping companies that ship, the fact that you tell me which one it's coming from makes me feel better. Do you know what I'm saying? So even if it's from USPS, great, I love USPS. I love UPS. I love all those acronyms. Just tell me who it's coming from and I'll feel a heck of a lot better about my decision. Especially because now you can use that logo on your page because you've got them as your shipping center. Also has credibility. Your return policy, be clear but don't be scary. And that's important. Don't scare them. All returns accepted up to 30 days after delivery for a full refund, no questions asked. That's a good statement. Simply call customer service to request an RMA return merchandise authorization, which is the number that they will put on the package when they ship it back, to ensure you get credit the moment the return arrives. Your happiness is our only concern. Here's another one. To ensure low prices for serious customers, we do charge a 15% restocking fee for customers who do decide to return products. You notice how I made that a benefit? I turned a restocking fee into a benefit. To ensure low prices for our serious customers, we do charge a 15% restocking fee to those who decide to return products. What did I do there? If you decide to return the product you've bought, then I am going to have to charge you a little something because I want to keep my prices low for my serious customers who buy a product and keep it. I've placed a wedge. Are you a serious customer or are you not a serious customer? You're deciding right now, aren't you? You're deciding right now that you're a serious customer. Because of course you wouldn't buy it if you weren't a serious customer. Who would not buy it if they weren't a serious customer? So lots of stuff that you can do with your copy. Shipping and price options. Create a checkbox for rush shipping for only $9 more. Huge. People will take it. Buy the drones. And it's important. $9 more. Not just $9. $9 more for rush shipping. What does that mean? Well, if you're sending priority, great. If you're sending third class, send it priority. If you're sending first class, send it priority. That's a great thing about priority mail. It's pretty cheap. the shipping will become a profit center for you. What does that mean, though? That means you cannot take 6 days to process the dang order. You better process that order within 24 hours and get it out the door. I mean, if it takes you 48, you're pushing it. But do offer it faster, and do send it faster. Can you see the cat back there? Hi, Kiki. Look at that cat. It's a cool cat. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. $9 more. Big time profit center, actually. And here's the crazy thing. Customers who take that $9 are worth more money. Those who get it faster are worth a lot more. Perfect example is the Amazon Prime example. I'll end up talking about Amazon Prime a lot. We'll have a whole discussion on Amazon Prime, actually, because Amazon's beautiful. You want to know who to copy? Copy their brilliant, brilliant company. They found out the same thing that we found out. The more you pay, or the more the customer pays and the faster they get the product, the more happier they are, and the longer they'll stick around, and the more money they'll spend. Good gravy, will they spend more money. Use a drop-down for faster shipping and multiple options. If you're going to offer them Rush for $9 or next day for $16 or something along those lines, make it an option. Use the drop-down box. Don't put a whole bunch of check boxes. The last thing you want is too many choices. Remember, more space means more commitment. Less space and less questions means less commitment. Allow the customer to choose the trial always. If you're going to put, like I've got here, I'm using the decoy method on this one example that I'm showing you. Make sure that you always leave the trial in there. We talked about that earlier. Just got to reiterate it again. Never take away the reason why they came there. Make sure customer checks the box for understanding the terms and conditions. It's imperative that they always check the box saying that they understand the terms and conditions, no matter what. You got to have that on there, please. Pretty please. And you don't have to say, I understand the terms and conditions in total legal jargon. Unless your attorney says that, of course, you check with your attorney, make sure that you ask them, because I'm not an attorney. But I like using plain and simple English and putting a pre-qualifier ahead of time, where I say something like, I understand, or no, this is my first order, this is my only order for this household, and I agree to the terms and conditions. Then I'm bulking it together where my terms and conditions statement's almost like a rider to a bill, where rider to a bill's, never mind. Basically what that means is I'm saying yes to the first statement and default yes to the second statement. I understand, I agree that this is my first order placed for this household and agree to the terms and conditions. Or this is my first order and I agree to the terms and conditions. I understand this is one per household and I agree to the terms and conditions. Oh my goodness, running out of battery life on the camera there. Include a link to all the terms and conditions also. Gotta have the link in there so that they can read them. And then remember, when they click that link, what does it do? It's in English. It's not in legal jargon. And then legal jargon below. Okay? Talk to them. Don't lawyer at them. Okay. Let's talk now about dominating landing page types. What that really means is, what are the dominating landing page types that are filling the CPA world right now, or the cost per action world, in this world of super affiliates we've been discussing? Well, there really are 5 different types that dominate. For the purposes of this course and system, we're going to really be looking at just 1 or 2 models. Really, we're going to focus on one because the second model doesn't vary too much from the first. Just the landing page type really is all that matters, a little tiny bit. But we're going to talk about the others just so that you're aware of them and you don't get cornered or stuck in a position where you have to try and defend yourself, if you will, from these affiliates who may say, hey, what about let's do a lead collection model? And you're going to have to say, no lead collection. So let's start off by going through these different landing page types. What is RFT, or a risk-free trial? Well, risk-free trials are dominating all product sales this year, 2009, and they've been creeping up in popularity for a while. We've been doing free trial marketing for probably 7 years now, 6-7 years now, and it's pretty effective. Gotta say, it's really, really effective. You lower that barrier to entry for the customers, and they like it quite a bit. What is risk-free trial? It's really try before you buy. That's really what it's about. It's not get it for free. It's not have it for free. It's not free. It's try before you buy. Or also bill me later. One of those two is the best way that I like to explain free trial marketing. The standard CPA, cost per action, risk-free trial model. Remember, we're using the acronyms a lot because otherwise it takes forever to say anything. The standard CPA RFT model is used by most CPA networks right now because free trials convert higher. There is a template, or they convert a lot higher. So let's just say we were going to sell your $90 product. If I sell your $90 product, you're going to have a conversion ratio of, say, 0.5%. However, if I sell a free trial product that has a $90 rebill, you're going to have a conversion ratio of 2 to 6%, maybe even greater. Depends upon where the traffic's coming from. There is a template example included in this product. So you can go in and look exactly what the site looks like. You can change all the graphics around and put it to your own liking and be in business in short order. Mostly two-page processes are filling the CPA RFT buckets right now, if you will. I don't have a better word than that. Most of the pages that you're going to find in the CPA networks are all two-page free trial processes. And they're going to convert anywhere between 2 and 6% depending upon what kind of traffic you're sending. And they also, one of the main reasons is that they're really popular, is they allow for lead collection immediately. So you can start collecting leads immediately from your customer. Remember we talked about that before, how the free trial or the RFT or CPA model allow you to get all of those addresses in advance, remember? And that way you can leverage follow-up systems. And in most cases, you're not paying the affiliates for those follow-up sales. The follow-up autoresponder sales get credited to you, and they'll help you to offset the increased cost that you're going to have to pay to your affiliates. Okay? Let's go through into this in some real detail. Here is the process simplified. The customer vets an ad. Yeah, vets. That's right. It says that right there. Vets. No. Customer gets an ad to try a risk-free trial. Again, you need an editor. Customer gets to the website for more of something. Again, we don't know what they want. Many times we assume that the customer wants more information, when in actuality they could care less about information. Maybe they want more hope. Maybe they want more bonding. Maybe they need something else. Don't assume that they need more information. Okay? They may just want a friend. And they may just want to know that you've got something. Most of the time, customers just want hope. They don't care about information. They want hope and a bond. Why? Well, because everybody else in their life is not bonding with them and giving them no hope, or probably tearing them down, telling them that they're going to fail or whatever else. I mean, I feel for people because I just can't imagine that. Well, I can actually. Just don't anymore. Customer begins micro-interaction sequence. Now, the micro-interaction sequence, we talked about those mini commitments before. We want to have the customer continually going through those micro-interactions. Actually, let's look real quick. Do I continue to go into each of these? No, that's good. Customer begins micro-interaction sequence. We really want them to start engaging in the process quickly. And that's what that means. The customer chooses a trial or a pre-sell and gives a credit card. This is on the second page of the process, usually sometimes the third page. Basically, this means that the customer is going to choose whether or not they want to take the trial offer or if they want to take your pre-sell offer, which is kind of like an upsell but early on. And that's if you include those in. You don't have to include those in. You will see a decrease in conversion ratio if you include them. However, you will see a big increase in the income per customer. Big increase in the income per customer if done correctly. So you have to play that balancing act. Customer gets a few one-time offers, which are the upsells, to bring in more cash flow. And then the customer is put into a continuity program. We're going to have a whole section about upsells coming up. We got a whole section about the pre-sells, which is the decoys. We got sections on those two things coming up. We also have a section coming up on continuity and follow-up sequence. So I'm not going to go into too many details on all of these. Customer is put into a continuity program so you can continue to receive revenue from them on an ongoing basis. And then non-buyers are put into a follow-up sequence so that you can build that bond with them or continue to build the bond with them and then turn them into buyers. Also turn them into cross-demographic revenue streams, which we'll talk about more also coming up. Customer is billed for the shipped product after the trial period is over. So I go through, I take the trial, my trial period is over, it's been 2 weeks, I'm then billed for the product that was shipped to my house originally. Always allow for shipping time. Never bill. If you say you're going to give the customer a 2-week trial, don't bill them after 2 weeks. Bill them after 3 weeks. You got to make sure that they have time. You have to allow for the shipping time. Otherwise, you're going to break that trust cycle with the customer. If you tell them you're going to give them a 2-week trial and it takes a week for the product to get there and they've only had it for 1 week, what are they thinking? I did not try this for 2 weeks. I tried this for 1 week. You lied to me. And they'll be expecting that lie. So don't give them a reason to doubt you. For digital, time deliver bite-sized chunks and make them want to stay on. If you can, it's very helpful if you can deliver to them small, bite-sized pieces of information so they can stay engaged in your system. Make digital into DVD or CD to increase the conversion ratio. So you can do the bite-sized chunks, and then you can create a physical product that gets shipped up in front, so that they can get something in the mail. Getting something in the mail will increase your conversion ratio. So, like for example, this product that you're watching now. If I wanted to create this as an average consumer product, I would send them one quick start DVD, and then I would slowly send them the remaining DVDs, one per month for 12 months at like $2.99 a month, and that's probably how I would roll it out. If I was to do that, which I'm not going to do, but if I'm just giving you an example, and then when they get that more information every month, they get another DVD. Do you see what I mean? How you can continue to cycle that out. Turn your digital process into a gym mentality. That's really important. It's not the gym. It's you giving up. Make sure that you take whatever your digital process is, that you've used so much social proof and so much third-party credibility and so many things that the customers know. There's no way it just didn't work for you. You just gave up. And the best way to do that is to always anchor in those pre-statements. Look, we know it's going to work for you. You just have to try. Are you going to try? Are you trying? Are you trying harder? And then when they go to give up, you have to make them realize, oh, come on, you know that this thing worked. You've seen it. You're just not trying. I'll tell you what. Oh, and this is I'm getting ahead of myself, but this is in the the retention section. I'll tell you what. I'll give you 2 more months for free because I know you're just not trying hard enough. And then try. You've got to give it a shot. I mean, you haven't lost those 13 pounds because remember we collected all the information about them. Or did you start making more money at the job? Are you making twice as much as you were before? I know that if you just apply yourself, you'll actually start seeing success. Just apply yourself. So you have to turn this into that same gym mentality where it's no longer a question of, hey, do I quit the gym? That whole exercise thing, it just doesn't work for me. Bullshit. Just not trying. And that's the same way you got to treat your digital process or any of your. That's the same way you should look at any of your programs. You got to make sure the customer's trying. Let's keep going. The pros and cons of risk-free trials. There are cons, definitely. There are pros, definitely. So let's look at the pros first, and then we'll look at the cons. Actually, look at them together, just because they balance out. Pro, massive conversion rates. I mean, you're going from a 0.5% conversion ratio on a $100 rebill or a $90 rebill to a 4%, 6%, 10%. I mean, it's ridiculous depending upon the source of traffic. You're getting way higher conversion ratios. Customers will say, okay, I'll try it. People are willing to try just about anything, especially if you do all your good job of removing fair commitment, providing social proof, all the stuff that we've talked about already, and we'll continue to talk about in more detail. you'll get a much higher conversion ratio. What's a con? Well, the con is that you can be sneaky. Don't get sneaky. You'll be tempted to get sneaky. And I'm saying you'll be tempted, not because I'm tempted to get sneaky, but because everybody that I've trained has attempted to get sneaky. And I'm always sitting there going, dude, don't be sneaky. Not worth it. Be cool. Don't be sneaky. What I mean by that is disclose. Always disclose. Another pro, massive sales volume. Well, you got massive conversion ratio. You got a free trial offer. People are going to want to send you money, or want to send you customers because you're going to send them money. Lots of it. So it works out. It's the higher your conversion ratio, the more money you make. The more money you make for them, the more they want to send you more customers. So there you go. Here's what's the con. Well, there's work involved. Yep, you're going to have to do some work. There's work involved in the monetization of the entire system, which means the conversion of visit to income, even for non-buyers. There is work involved in all this. Luckily, we've done a lot of the footwork for you, so there's a hell of a lot less work, but there's still work involved. Pro, customers can try with less risk. They freaking love it. They love being able to try stuff with less risk, and we like being able to give them that good feeling too. Con, high sales volume can jeopardize your merchant relationships. You got to be safe. Most of the people that I have experienced any sort of level of success with have all had merchant issues. Why? I'm going to tell you guys, honestly, they just don't listen to me when I tell them you got to get more merchant accounts. I want you to have 4 or 5 merchant accounts. Make sure that you can rotate through these merchant accounts. Get some good technology, because everybody buys the baloney, and there's a whole section about this that we'll talk into more. But basically, everyone believes what their merchant account tells them. You can process unlimited funds. I tell you, they always say that until you get to processing $500,000 a month. Then things start changing. I mean, it might be hard for you to believe right now. $500,000 a month, yeah, right, I'm going to get there. Yeah, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. $500,000 a month is not a lot of money, not in the CPA space. I mean, you get to control. The great thing is you get to control your growth. So you get to decide how fast you grow, how slow you grow. As long as you have good merchant relationship patterns established, then you don't ever have to worry. You just have to make sure that you have them established and that you listen to what I'm going to tell you in all these different pieces, and you can avoid all the possible complications. Pro, CPA networks love them. Why do they love risk-free trial? Well, because of all the other reasons. Massive conversion ratios, massive sales volume. They get to play in the world that they love. Con, higher customer support needs. You're going to have some customer support. Don't worry. You don't have to do it. You don't have to have your mom, your sister, and everyone else answering the phones for you. You can pay people to answer the phones for you for very little money and very little setup cost. I mean, I think, do you remember, I think at last charges, please do not quote me on this. I probably shouldn't even say anything.
It's re-recorded.
I know, I'm recording it right now. Wow, hey, whatever. If I remember right, and it used to be, but I think they were charging like $300 setup fee at last fulfillment, which is nothing. They just ask that you have some sort of sales volume before you go bothering them. The guy's name again there is Jim Gardner. I think that it was $299 setup fee, and I remember thinking, wow, that's really cheap. Why would it be so cheap? And then Jim said something to me that made total sense. Well, once our customers get with us, they stay for a long time. And we grow with them, they grow with us, and we have a great relationship. And it's actually true. I've actually sent them a tremendous amount of business because they're good people. And they get it. And I have a lot of my systems already in place over there. Anyhow, point being, that is the con, is that you do need to have customer support. But the pro is that customers love good customer support. So go figure. It's both. It's a win and a loss because it actually does cost you money, but it ends up making you money more in the long term. So, pro, more follow-up sales opportunities, meaning you can always generate more follow-up sales with your customers, more future sales for buyers, and more future sales for the non-buyers. And not just on your product, but on other products too. Con, you get a higher affiliate fraud rates. when you're paying someone between $30 and $40 for a free trial, when the customer only gives you 3, I'll show you how that actually works. You're actually getting more than 3, but you'll get a much higher possibility of fraud. But we're going to show you tracking systems to avoid that too. But it's there. It's a possibility. So you also get more upsell opportunities. That's a pro. You get more upsell opportunities, meaning you get the more chances to upsell your customer to make more money. Because if you have a 0.5% conversion ratio, that means out of 100 customers, you're going to get half a sale. How many upsell chances do you have? Well, you get a half a chance because you only had a half of a sale. You don't really get a half a sale. Literally, it would take you 200 orders to get 200 customers to get 1 sale. Follow me on that one at a 0.5% conversion ratio. At a 4% conversion ratio, you get 4 chances out of 100 for upsell, meaning you get 4 times the opportunity to show more customers more options and more things, and you get better at making more sales. So the advantage here is that we've processed tens of thousands, actually probably hundreds of thousands, actually definitely hundreds of thousands. What am I talking about? Way more than hundreds of thousands of orders. And that's because we've been running free trial offers. It doesn't mean that we've converted, if we were trying to sell a $200 item, it would be a heck of a lot harder to do this kind of mass scale testing that we do. So more customers, even for free trial, means more upsell opportunities, means more education for you. Con is you need a merchant account and a shopping cart. You need a lot of merchant accounts. That's what. You notice I mentioned that one in here twice. The biggest problem most of my clients have is processing money. How to process all the money that they're making. That is their biggest complication. And that's a positive problem to have. Another pro is it's very easy to set up and repeat. Once you get this down, it's very easy to copy it. Pick another product, create another product, have another product written, whatever. Duplicate. It's all cookie cutter. Once you get it all together and you understand it, it's easy to take it and duplicate it again and again and again and again. And not just duplicate it when you're done with one, but to duplicate it over and over again so that you have 4 or 5 programs running at any one point in time. That's when you start really cranking in the money. And you're going, wow, now I get the multi-million-dollar business thing. Now it makes sense. Because if with one business, if you do it, and you're generating, how much is $1 million? $1 million a month, or $1 million a year is $83,000 a month. $83,000 a month divided by $100 an order. What is that? I'm so horrible with math. $100.
830 orders.
830 orders? 830 orders divided by 30 days. What is that? Ray.
27.6.
27.6? Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
27 orders a day to be a $1 million a year company. That's for one product. What if you had 2? What if you had 3? What if you had 4? What if you had 5? And they only made 20 orders a day? And that's not counting continuity charges. You see where I'm getting at? Instantly, those big numbers start dissolving down to nothing. You're like, wow, if I had 5 products to be $1 million a year company, and I had 5 products, I would need 6 orders per day if I didn't have any rebilling. 6 orders per day at $100 per order. Okay, well, I get excited because I really love this. But if you had 6 orders per day for those 5 products, and it was $100 rebill on your trial order, not too difficult. Not too difficult at all. What if you added in the continuity? It was only a $50 rebill, and you kept the customer an average of 2 months. That's the same thing. I'll show you all these, all the numbers in just a little bit, but I think you understand. It's not that difficult. Sounds big until you start breaking it down, and you're like, wow, it's really not that big. It's not that big of a deal. Let's keep going. Customer's perception of the word free. Risk-free trials are great, but be careful when if you anchor the word free into the customer's mind too much. You don't want to create a freebie customer. You can take a millionaire and turn him into a freebie junkie. Or you can take a pauper and turn him into a $1 million customer, all with the words that you use. If you use the word free too much, You're going to kill your customer value. There are also rules to using the word free. Find them on the FTC website. Make sure that you study them and learn them. Again, I'm not an attorney. You need to go look at some things for yourself. I'm going to outline as much as I can, but that doesn't mean that you got it all. You got to go find out a few things on your own, which is learn the rules, get an attorney. There are rules to the word free and how much you use it. Don't lead with get it free. Okay? It's really important for you to understand that one. Don't lead. What that means is don't start all your ads with get it free. What is that telling me as a customer? I get to get it for free. I don't want to learn. You don't want to start the relationship with me saying get it for free. Well, you want me to try it now? That's one thing. Free profile? That's another thing. Free survey? That's another thing. But don't tell me that I'm going to get it for free, because then that's telling me that I'm getting it for free, meaning your product. Try not to use all caps like above. It anchors in free. You notice what I mean by that is you notice how I use free in quotations, and it's very, very large free text. If you use that in your initial advertisement and you're talking about your product, that really anchors in free thoughts. You want your customers to try before they buy, realizing that the product is not free. I used to use the sample distinction a lot. I haven't anymore because you don't see a lot of free samples as much, but you can use it in your copy or in your scripts. This is no small sample. That way I've downplayed the word sample. It is our full $97 product. You get to try it in your home before paying a penny for it. You see the difference? It's very important that you don't anchor in free too much, or really at all. I mean, you can use the word free to your advantage because it's a very powerful word. You just don't want to use it as a crutch for good copy. Okay? And a lot of people do. Here's an example landing page. Notice there's virtually no copy. The video that you're going to put on there can be done with the flip camera. You don't need to have an expensive camera. You can use a flip camera. It was $100 for a flip camera. You could probably find one on Craigslist for $50 if you look hard enough. So do something. Do anything. Don't think that it has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be production quality. Remember, what I talked about before, you can go ghetto on the production. It's not a problem. Just, it'll look grassroots. I probably should call it grassroots and not ghetto, huh? Okay, imagery intensive. You've got the template. You can pull stuff out. You can add stuff in. Simple Photoshop templates. You can hire someone to do it for you. If you don't know how to code, don't let it stop you. If you don't know how to use Photoshop, don't let it stop you. Get someone else to do these things for you. They're not difficult. Especially when you start looking at outsourced companies overseas, you can get it done at a very, very inexpensive cost. They will have prominent bullets displayed clearly and above the fold. Big fat arrows work really, really well. There's a reason why you keep seeing them on all those websites. If you've done your competitive research already from what we talked about before, and I think it was section 1. Remember, I know it's only been 2 sections, but it's been a lot of recording time. Sorry. Large order buttons really help out. Nice product shots are fantastic. Quick bullets beside the shipping information. I like the bullets to be, what that means, I like the bullets to be beside the shipping information. So when I'm looking at the shipping information, I'm reminded of what the product benefits are. Product shot beside the order area because I get to see the product. There's a reason. There's a reason why next to the order button is the bullet and the product and the before and after goal imagery. All of those things are important to have near my button. You have to remember that. They got to be in the proximity. Goal image is clearly displayed. There's a limited time offer. Remember, sense of urgency. Large call to action button. Talked about that before. Large order button, large call to action button, same thing basically. Credibility is listed. So we've got our third-party credibility. Social proof with the testimonials. Substantiation with the, if you look at the bottom of the page, we've got that. Remember that more info for the people who want more on how it works, for the how people. Very possible that you're going to have to put some of that how information in there. You don't need it, but you can put it in. Again, it's going to depend upon what you're selling. And then graphically appealing. Should be very graphically appealing. This is an example landing page for you of the risk-free trial. Here's an example credit card page. This is the second page of the process. There will be video on the page. The video actually should be right here where this blue box is. I think I took it out, but just visualize a little video window there, just like on the previous page. Let's look at the previous page again. See that video window? It's really simple. It's where that woman's going like that. And that woman, by the way, is my mom. Remember I told you? Actually, that was earlier in another take. I say a lot. If you're not proud of what you do and you don't want to show it to your mom, then don't do it. My mom sees all of my stuff, and she's proud of every single thing that I do. In fact, she's even in the videos because she's like, this is great. She loves that stuff. I mean, she's amazing. Can't say enough. Anyhow, don't want to get off on that too much, but you get the point. The video window can be there, and it will be right above the other testimony that we've got. We've got the decoy method used on this page as an example. You don't have to have it. Remember, it is going to decrease your conversion a bit, but it will increase your value per customer a lot. So, decoy method is used on this page. Very little copy. Look at the copy on this page. There's no tremendous amount of copy talking about anything except the products themselves and the different things. Remember, don't get attorney. Don't need to get all legal speak on them. Get legal speak in the terms and conditions. Talk in plain, simple English, best friend words on your explanations. Secure cart notice. Again, we've got the secure cart, guaranteed large order button, just like on the previous page. Nice product shots. Shipping upgrade option with the checkbox and the drop down. See how this is all kind of coming together now? All of that stuff's in this page. Easy terms and conditions. What I mean by easy terms and conditions is don't go crazy on the legal speak. Allow for pre-upsell. That's the decoy. The decoy allows for the pre-upsell. Use the testimonials again. Please go crazy with the testimonials. See how there's another testimonial right above there? I love testimonials. Can't talk enough about them. Include your guarantee. Make sure that you got your guarantee listed again. That is actually below. You can't see it in the rest of this page. But it's in there. And it's in your template. All this stuff's in your template. BOGO, if possible. Buy one, get one. Or buy two, get one. People love deals. Give them deals. MOS offer, which is really what that means is more of the same. Give me more of the same in this position here so that I can do bulk purchasing. And then your disclaimers at the bottom. You know, if you've got you always have to include your legal disclaimers, like especially if you're selling supplements. You know, these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Blah 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 blah. Get those from your attorney because I cannot give you any legal advice because I'm not an attorney. Here are some example upgrade pages. We're actually going to go into complete detail on the last, on the decoy method and on the upgrade pages, but I want you to see what some of these upgrade/upsell. I call them they're upsell pages, but these I always call them upgrade because I let people upgrade their order because who doesn't want an upgrade? Big upgrade button and a normal no thank you text link. Now, don't make the text link light gray and super small text size because that's getting sneaky. Make it just a normal color. Don't use a bold blue link because you don't want them to be drawn to standard psychological colors that they quickly not understand, but that they gravitate towards. Like as an example, if you use a blue link, people love clicking on blue links. They're going to click on that blue link all day long. However, if you use a light blue, or not light blue, but a blue link, what I mean by light blue is not like light as in reduced for visibility, but I mean as in the color light blue. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between getting sneaky and using a good color. I hope you know. I hope this is making sense to you. Drop downs for more choices. What that means is let them buy two and get one free. This is a great place to buy two, get one free is in the upsell path because it can really increase the value per customer. These upsell upgrade pages can increase your revenues by $50 per free customer for free trial customers who come through. And I say free customer because I want you to understand these people come for a free trial, they leave worth way more than they came in with, expecting to spend. Do you follow me? Okay, let's keep going. Thank you page. Show the package and or the upsells to the customer bot. Make sure that you're displaying these things. Remember how I talked about before, you can put in a little text box also to get a testimonial on the process or their feedback on the process. Really, really helpful stuff here. Display again how the billing will take place in any continuity. Make sure you're spelling this out. You can have them auto print it, or you can print it. You can have them print it, or you can auto print it. You can use video and a personality to anchor in a friendly atmosphere so they understand that you truly care. Your customer support email should be there. Your phone number should be there. And again, redisplaying the terms and conditions. You must continually anchor into the customer that if there's going to be a continuity program, what rebuilds are going to look like. Always make sure they truly, clearly understand your offer. Please. Let's keep going. Trial and continuity disclosure. Do not bury your continuity disclosure in the terms and conditions. You must also state it in English. I know I've said this. I know I sound like a broken record, but I think I have to. You gotta put them on the page. Let's make sure they understand. If it's painful or you feel it's painful, like I said before earlier, use video to talk about those painful items, but turn them into a positive. If you've got a $90 a month rebill for your product because you've got a great product, turn it into a positive. Hey, look, this program's only $90 a month, and it is going to change your life. Is it worth $3 a day to have a completely new view on the world? Is it worth $3 a day? I don't know. What's not worth $3 a day? Seriously, what isn't worth $3 a day for us if it was life-changing? Nothing's not worth $3 a day. You got to be kidding me, right? It's $3 a day. 3. That's it. How much money you spend on coffee? I know that sometimes times can get tough, and we can say, "Oh, that's $90." Well, it's $3 a day, guys. It's 3. Get that much change in the ashtray usually. You have to just help them to realize what it is. See scripts in your assets for a good starting point. We've included scripts in here for you for the terms and continuity disclosures that we like, the plain simple English stuff. Always make the user check the box, check the terms box as well as spell it out in the description. I know I said that before, but I'm going to say it again. You got to make sure they check the box. Put the phone number so they can call with questions. Kind of a given. I talked about that before already. Recap. Why a trial offer? Higher conversion rates, more opportunity for upsells, more opportunity for cross-sells. You get a bigger lead funnel. We're going to talk about lead funnels and data mining in a little while, but those are really important. The bigger the lead funnel, the bigger your future business. Because think about it this way. You're only going to pay for the initial contact with the customer once. When you sell them on all the other business stuff that you've created, because you've used this cookie cutter system, you've created 3 or 4 businesses that have the same demographic audience, you don't have to pay the affiliates anymore for those other sales. You only paid them for the first one for bringing them in the funnel. Now, how big do you want that funnel? You want it really big, because you want to be able to sell them more stuff. You want to build that trust so that you let them know you can help them, and then you sell them more things to help meet their needs. You do all of this with love and respect in mind. Never do this with just the money in mind, because if you go chasing the money, you'll never get it. If you go chasing how to help people, you'll help them, and they'll pay you along the way. CPA networks love trial offers. Duh. They just love being able to have more money. Customers love them. They're quickly scalable, meaning you can grow too fast. Again, grow slow, regulated. Start at 10 or 20 orders a day. Run that way for 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe a month, maybe 2 months. When I first started with when I spoke at Yonex 2 years ago, I was pointing out a business on stage that had just gotten started, and I forced the guy to keep his volume low at 25 orders a day for a month straight while he got all of his affairs in order, meaning his customer support and all the other stuff. It was killing him, because he wanted to make more money. But I'm like, dude, you got to take it easy, nice and slow, get the systems in place. When he did finally scale up to 100 through 300 orders a day, he was grateful that he took his time scaling because he was able to get his feet wet first. And you'll want to do the same thing. But when you're ready, you can quickly scale up too fast. And almost every affiliate loves free trial offers. Pretty much all affiliates do. I can't think of anybody who wouldn't, but that is possible. Remember, simple is always better. Do you like to complicate things? No. No one likes to complicate things. So keep it very, very, very simple. That pretty much concludes this section, and I hope it's been extremely eye-opening for you. I highly recommend you go through it over and over and over again. I know that it's a lot of material. I know it's a tremendous amount of information, but I think that you deserve all of it. I think I would have been doing you a disservice by holding anything back from you. Remember, you don't need it to be perfect. While you want it to be great, sometimes great can be the enemy of good. And most of the people out there making money in CPA offers are just doing good. I wanted to give you great, and wherever you fall in between good and great is up to you. Okay? Just remember, you can act and start with good and get to great. Okay? All right. Thank you very, very much. Wait. Ray was reaching for it. There's more. That was the first one. This is now, let's look at survey RFT model. This will go fast. I'll go a little fast so we can finish the section. I know you guys are like, okay, man. But survey RFT. Same elements as the standard RFT, but use a quick survey qualifier. And now, I love surveys because they begin the interaction sequence. Remember we talked about micro interactions? The surveys will really start getting the micro interaction sequence going right away. So you start making those mini commitments with the website to give information. They will increase the page-to-page conversion, and you can collect email earlier, meaning that if I came and I landed on a page and I had a little survey, I love filling it out. Now these two surveys here that you see on this screen, they both had information above this that talked about the product really quickly and briefly, and then they led to a survey. I've even seen very, very big, long sales pages also lead to surveys because surveys work. They're very, very effective. Now, I do have to tell you, most of the pages out there, the CPA network pages, are non-survey related. Okay? So you get to try them both, and you get to see what works for you. Excuse me. Most of them don't use surveys now because you get a good conversion ratio from page to page without the survey, and they want the most simplistic model. I still personally like surveys. They work really well for banner traffic too, especially. So look at what your competition is doing and find what works for you. You can, like I said, you can collect the email earlier. You can collect all the user info and credit card information on page 2 of the process. So instead of just having on page 2 the credit card information like we showed you before in the earlier slide for CC page, you can also collect all of the shipping address information above that as well, because you have enough room for it. You just got to move everything down a little tiny bit. So you can do that. You can also make it into a 3-page process if you like. And the customer gets to make micro commitments throughout the entire process. And but just look at the survey document that came with your package. I'm going to go ahead and include some simple survey stuff, so you'll have them in the package. I recommend testing both types for your offer because you're not sure which one will end up working the best for you. And it really depends on what you're selling. But again, I really love the surveys, and I want to make sure that you have all of the survey. You have surveys as an option. Let me just say that. Even though not all of the offers out there are using surveys right now, I do believe that we will see a big comeback, if you will, for surveys. Okay? Let's keep going. One-time offer. This is where the customer pays up front. Usually longer sales copies is used on this page, and the customer basically just pays everything up front. It's a $200 offer. Now, this can still be considered a risk-free trial because the customer can pay up front and they can get all their money back. So it can still be risk-free, where they pay everything up front, and if they don't like it, they can get money back. They can get all their money back. Well, that's kind of the same thing as paying up front and offering a guarantee, but it has been called risk-free trial before because they just pay up front and they can get all their money back if they don't like it. They're not as popular as CPA networks, but they can work. It's my next project. I'm working on this right now, where I can figure out how to perfect this model the same way that we've perfected the risk-free trial model. They're much higher payouts are needed, so you got to charge a lot more. Because the conversion ratio is going to be lower, you can't just charge $80, because you'd have to pay out to the network. I don't know, let's say you pay out $40. If you got $40 on a $2 sale and your conversion, or excuse me, a $2 sale being the shipping charge. Let's say you're charging the customer shipping of $3.95, and you're paying out to the network $40. Your conversion ratio is coming in at 4%. If you charge $100, your conversion ratio is not going to be 4%. It's probably going to be more like 1 or 2%, maybe. That's if you're damn good. You still can't afford to pay out. You couldn't pay out $40. You're going to have to pay out more to equate to the same CPM, because as a publisher, I'm not going to make as much money because the conversion ratio is lower from click. Okay, so you're going to have to charge in the between $100 $200 range, or cut deeper into your own margins. So one-time offers can work. I've seen some of them have really dominated the internet, but usually most of them that I've seen that are out in the CPA networks are bogus offers. They're not something I would be proud if my mom signed up for. So do what you will with that one. Zip submit email model. This is where the customer submits a zip code or an email address in exchange for XYZ, whatever. It doesn't really matter. They put it in. Get a free iPod, get a free whatever, get a free gift card. You've seen them, Applebee's, Chili's, blah blah blah. You've seen those things. I mean, you have to if you've been surfing the internet at all. They're popular for banners because of the quick payout. You can make $1.50, $2, $3 sometimes just for a zip code. Someone clicks on the link, they put the zip code in or the email address in, I get $1 to $3. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's really ridiculous. So, and it's because these people have perfected the process so much so that they have perfected, and when I say the process, they perfected the data sharing game. Now, I don't want to teach that game to you guys because it's it's a dirty, ugly game. Let me get started on that. But the point is, the customers are put through a credit registration system or a business opportunity finder, and usually the data gets sent to a whole bunch of different people. That's a tough space. There's a huge, it says high fraud possibility on my slides here, but it's huge possibility for fraud by the affiliates. You have to start getting into data validation systems like Melissa Data or Targus or some of the others, and unless you know what you're doing, I really, really, really recommend you don't go this route. Not even novice or advanced marketers should go this route. Only masters of CPA should be doing this. Why? Well, because you can get into 20, 50,000 leads plus a day. Now, if you're paying out $3, you're paying out between $60,000 to $150,000 a day in payout. That's a lot of money. So, and even I don't care who you are, that's a lot of money. So don't do this. But it does exist. Just don't let the networks. They wouldn't really try and ask you to go this route if you weren't experienced in it, because they know you wouldn't last long. But you need to know that it is out there. So what it's doing is it's taking traffic. This is why you have to end up paying so much more, because of these kind of offers. We end up having to pay out more of our money to the publishers because these kind of offers exist, driving up advertising costs for everyone. Okay? Not that they're totally bad, but they're just not for me. Let me just say that. The lead collection model is where you pay for a lead while the consumer goes through a sales process. In other words, if you were to pay on that first address submit on page 1, remember how the customer lands on the page, they put in their shipping information, and they hit that rush my order button. If you paid on that first page, then you're paying on the lead model. It is not recommended for novice marketers because there's a high fraud possibility. Okay, you can use MaxMind or scoring systems to figure out the quality of the customer. It's just a lot harder, and for you guys who would have bought this product, you probably just don't want to start there. I would highly recommend sticking with the sales pay on sale only. Same pages as the other websites, meaning you still use the same process in many cases. It just requires some really advanced follow-up systems. They're great, but it is great for generating 10, 20,000 plus leads a day, even more. I'm being conservative in all my figures because I don't believe you guys would believe what's really possible, which is insane. Insane traffic. Let's keep going. Actually, that's a perfect place to stop. Let's go into the next section, section 4. We'll talk about the decoy method and why Anthony's duck is on the screen. I'm going to go get some dinner because it is late. Look out here, it's kind of getting dark. So you guys, hope this has been helpful. Hope section 3 was totally freaking eye-opening and that you loved it. And I think you should probably go through and watch section 3 again. Bring somebody else in to watch it with you so that you guys can, share it with someone who can, if you don't get something, maybe they'll get it, and then you guys can kind of go through it together. So again, watch section 3 again, or listen to section 3 again. Go through it with your notes. Make sure you're collecting all your notes so that you can have all your questions answered before the end of the entire system. Okay? All right. Thank you very much.